interesting week for my mother. On the one hand, she had a birthday.
Happy birthday, Ma Dukes.
Indeed, happy birthday. And then the very next day, back procedure. And I was telling her, like, when she first was like going through it, she's like, my back hurt, and it's been hurting for a while. And doctors told her she go to the doctor, and they like, man, we got this procedure we could do, and we can go in there and yada yada yada. And I was like, hey, don't let these people fuck with your back, G. I don't approve of this going in your back shit stuff.
Doctor said she need a bacchiotomy, huh?
Doctor said she need a bacchiotomy.
Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy.
But you know, I guess she was, you know, down for whatever to alleviate the pain. So she went ahead and scheduled the bacchiotomy. A few weeks back, they went in there with like some needles, gave her like 6 shots, and they couldn't find where they was trying to point, so they ended up sticking her like 6 times. Conscious. She said that shit hurt bad as hell.
That sounds terrible.
And then now the next part is some complicated surgery where they're trying to cut off a nerve. They're trying to like burn off a nerve just to eliminate the pain. And my issue was what I was telling her was to burn off the nerve is merely to stop you from knowing that something is wrong. It's not solving anything. But
she gotta go see Mylene in Chinatown.
She gotta go see Mylene, G.
Mylene gonna hit her with something.
Get her right.
Yeah, we gotta hook up with Mylene. I'm gonna try to get Mylene's information.
You know,
Mylene gonna give us some magic leaves to rub on her back. She gonna have no more pain.
All better. No more pain. You come back 2 weeks.
Yep. Magic leaves taped down with toothpaste. You good money, G. Swear to God. Every magic trick the Chinese people tell me, it works.
Hey, whatever works, man. Anyway, I hope it's a fast heal, and she back out here hooping soon.
Yeah, Godspeed to my Dukes, man.
Indeed.
I know she ain't into that having pain and being down, because I didn't even recognize that. I don't know why I never recognized that both of y'all was that close to each other.
Yep. Our birthday is 4 days apart.
Yeah, that house must have been insane.
Yeah, it's cracking. My family is full of Aries, though, too. And then growing up, my house was like that, too, because my brother Matt is April 7th. My best friend Brian, he also April 7th. So it's cracking. Yeah, now 2 of my nephews, they Aries too.
We was a family for the Leos, but you know I had enough Aries to be like, yeah, no, relax.
No, we them people, Joe.
Y'all cool.
We them,
for a little while.
We them people. And I've noticed more and more I'm surrounded by a lot of Leos. I don't know if that's a natural thing, like for you to be around a lot of Aries and me to be around a lot of Leos. I don't know if that's like a symbiotic thing or whatever. But
it is.
I've definitely been noticing I'm around a lot of Leos in my life. But anyway, happy birthday all the Aries, man. We definitely been taking over the family chat this month.
Sure. 3rd member coming up Monday.
Yeah.
His birthday Monday.
That's right.
So he out in L.A.
Hey, he's a fool, G.
Him and Boog out in L.A. He called me the other day. Well, Boog called me the other day. So, you know.
T hit me. We be on Instagram just talking crazy about all the videos and whatnot, but he is a fool, man. Anyway, a lot of things we need to get into today, man, so we're going to get into it with y'all. Thank y'all so very much for being here. As always, we appreciate y'all choosing to tune in. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, share with at least one person that you think would add value to it or at least find value in it. Again, this is Herb and 2. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. That's 2. I'm Herb. 2, where you want to start this thing at today, man?
How many minutes we in yet? Can I cuss yet?
I already been cussing. I ain't gonna lie. I had 3. Are we 3 minutes in? I dropped a few.
We got 3 more minutes before we get cussed. So
I dropped a few. I think he just let me skate on them.
Let's walk it slow. So let's do something where we're not really cussing. We can't talk about robot because I'm gonna cuss.
Everything we talk about, we get excited, and then we just liquor. But anyway, all right. How about Wallo?
Oh, I want to cuss. I want to cuss bad on that one.
Okay.
But we can do Wallo. No. I'll be intellectual and not cuss because I don't want to diminish our possible relationship in the future with Wallo.
We'll save
as he always says. What if he wants to help?
We'll save it. We'll save it. That'll be high energy. Let me start at the complete opposite, or maybe not the opposite end, but at least a different energy that shouldn't incite much cursing. Kyren Lace is a wide receiver. He was a wide receiver for the LSU Tigers. He was coming out slated to be in the NFL draft this year. He was absolutely one of the top wide receivers in the country. He would have been drafted. He was recently pronounced dead from an apparent, I don't know that the official ME's report has come out, so I'll say apparent, from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, and was pronounced dead. Very unfortunate, man. The young man was going through court procedures. He had been charged in a fatal car accident in which a 78-year-old man was killed. Kyren Lacy allegedly fled the scene of said accident, and then he had been charged. He was actually scheduled to appear for his grand jury appearance on the day in which he was found dead again, apparently from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He had also, just prior to being found dead, he was being pursued by the police because he had been involved in an argument with a family member in which Kyren allegedly brandished a weapon, a firearm, and shot into the ground while arguing with the family member. He then fled that scene. Police pursued him. That pursuit ended in a crash, and when the police approached the car, they found him dead again from said gunshot wound.
So I'm glad you read the article, because that changes the entirety of the perspective in which I was going to have around that topic. It's sad.
It's very sad.
Right? It's sad. But from the way you described it, and again, I'm ignorant. I didn't get a chance to read the article. I just saw the headline.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very different perspective on the entirety of the story. I thought the crash included a friend of his or something like that. I was not aware that it was like kind of a hit and run. But it sounds like that young man was out of control. I don't know why or what sent him over the edge. I don't know what, I'm sure it all just compiled, and you just kind of don't know how to stop the overflow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a sad situation, man. And until I know more, I don't even want to kind of address it in any other real way, I guess.
No, I can dig it, man. For me, it cuts in a lot of different ways. Anytime as a football player, and I'm not making excuses for football players because I myself play football, I love the game, or I'm close to some of the players, none of that. But 100% of former football players whose brains have been tested for CTE have come back positive. The images, the scans of Aaron Hernandez, former tight end for the New England Patriots, had the famous story, murder trial, went to prison, allegedly killed himself in prison. The images from his brain scan after he died were mind-blowing. It showed that of a regular brain for a man his age, and it showed his brain and how much just degenerative effects on his brain there were. It was astonishing how little of his brain was full functioning. And so when I see things that football players do that don't really make sense to me, I can't really wrap my head around it, CTE comes to mind. Not making an excuse for Kyren Lacy or anybody else, but it comes to mind. What also comes to mind is the fragility emotionally and mentally of this younger generation. And you're talking about a kid dealing with the pressures of playing big-time major college football at LSU, one of the premier programs in the country, SEC football. You're talking about doing so in the NIL era where they getting money and more problems, where you end up in shit with your family. You talk about making the transition to the league, going through the draft process, trying to see where you stack up. Am I a first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, all this. It's all the pressure of that. And everybody don't deal with pressure the same way, man. Everybody don't deal with pressure well. Some people are incapable of handling pressure, even if you think they would be able to handle pressure because he play in front of 100,000 people every weekend.
I think you bring something to the conversation, man. All those things are valid. CTE, the numbers, the data. But there's also a lot of data around the fragility of manhood in this era specific, right? Suicide rates are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Specifically around black males.
Yeah.
I just read some data. I think it's like they did a data study, let's say from 2000 to like 2018, 2019, something like that. And the rates would spike and go down for every kind of demographic, you know, girls, white, boys, black, you know, they did all that. But the black boy rate was the only one that consistently rose. And at this point in time, it's the highest on the chart. And I don't know the data by heart to speak to it, but theirs was on a trajectory straight up, where everybody else has kind of had these moments. Then there were these valleys and peaks.
I seen the study, and for the first time, and it's on a per capita basis, and for the first time, black men are at a higher suicide rate than anybody else.
Right?
And, you know, black people, we were always like, we don't kill ourselves. That's some white people stuff. But for the first time in history, per capita, because obviously we 13% of the population, but per capita, black men are killing themselves at a higher rate than anybody else.
And I think there's something to say about that in the context of how we live our lives, right? And the trajectory of what it means to be raised in this kind of social media era. And I hate even using the context of social media.
No, don't. I got a personal story I'll get to when you're done.
But I'm also raising a little black boy.
Right.
And I got little black nephews and little black cousins, and I look at them and I always look at them like they're weird, right? Because their experiences are so uniquely different than my experiences. And I don't even know how to describe it, right? They all athletes, they all handsome.
Yeah.
But none of them have the wealth and brevity of experiences that I had. And what that life would afford you in my day, to be handsome and an athlete and well known, and at that age,
that's as good as it gets.
That's just like having a lottery ticket.
That's as good as it gets.
Right? That's like having a lottery ticket, and it doesn't play out for them in that way.
No.
You know what I mean? And it's just always interesting to see. And I always wonder, like, how, I don't know what the word is, I guess, how they view themselves. I would wonder what they would look at their lives as outside of themselves. You know what I mean?
I think they would question it, man. I would also, if we could have a true moment of honesty and clarity with these people, I would also like to have a real conversation with the people who experience the experience that we talking about, of being handsome, cool, with swag, and athlete. Like, how did you really feel? I know the girls liked you. I know your name was in the paper sometimes. I know the whole neighborhood knew you could hoop or play football or whatever. But how did you really, really feel? I saw that growing up. I got to see it first growing up. My brother was a premier athlete, and he was around a lot of other premier athletes. And I got to see that from 3 years ahead of myself. And then to a lesser degree, I got to go through that. I got to go through that as also a ravishingly handsome individual. And
I thought you were going to say premier athlete. Either one is bad, but I'll go with it. I'm wrong with you. I'm wrong with you, cuz. You want to say he was the best quarterback?
And captain and quarterback of the football team.
94?
94 is insane. That's when you graduated college. That's when you graduated college.
Yes.
Okay. No, but, you know, to go through that, like, what does that really mean mentally and emotionally, and how does that actually feel? I remember being around Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry ended up being the top pick in the league.
Eddie got a track story, man. We was talking about that this weekend.
Yeah, man. But you know, I remember him being number one player in the country, and at Thornwood, him and my brother were on the same AAU team. So me and Eddie was
with TJ's little brother. I know.
Yeah, me and Eddie was always like super, super close and cool. Probably because he was just a big kid, and I was the kid that was around. And I can tell you some personal stories of him just doing a lot of just childish shit. But I'll get past that and go straight to his recruiting phase, when every school in the country wanted him. North Carolina, Duke, name one, they wanted him to go there. And I remember going to North Carolina for the Bob Gibbons shootout, and we got royal treatment around, and the Bob Gibbons shootout was a tournament they had at AAU where you played all the North Carolina schools. So Duke, Carolina, Wake Forest, and North Carolina State. They all pretty close to each other. Anyway, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do because they trying to impress Eddie. We all over the Dame Dome, all over fucking Coach K shit, all that. And I remember being done with that day and being back at the hotel, and Eddie like, man, what the fuck? Like, I'm sick of all this shit. He's like, when we get back home, I'm committing to DePaul, and I'm going to the league. Because I'm tired of all these fucking phone calls. I'm tired of talking to all these people. I'm tired of all this shit. Which made perfect sense if you knew Eddie. He don't want to do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But at a moment where other people, everybody on the outside, like, damn, he that nigga, he number, like, you know what I mean? He like, I hate this shit. I fucking hate it. And I also remember the very day that Dwayde's life changed and blossomed into superstardom. It was a game against Cincinnati when Cincinnati was number 1 in the country. ESPN game, Dick Vitale, all that shit.
D-Wade went crazy.
D-Wade went absolute ape shit, and Marquette beat Cincinnati and Milwaukee. And we left that stadium the same way we left all the other games, except it was different. It was fucking insane. We couldn't go nowhere. Everybody was going crazy. Like, we come in the bar, we got to get escorted and snuck out the back door because it was just insane. It was like, what the fuck? I don't think we can go outside no more. Or you can't go outside no more. And that shit changed everything from that point on. It was over with for him. And I don't think everybody really likes that, man. And I think that kind of leads us like right into the next thing that we want to talk about.
I don't even want to leave so fast.
Okay.
Right. Malcolm Gladwell got a book called The Tipping Point.
Mm-hmm.
Classic book, old book. It's been around forever. A lot of people read it. You know what I mean? And there's, when we talk about the homeless people and the uber wealthy people, that's a concept that comes from Malcolm Gladwell's book, right? So just in context of you talking about Eddie, I was just thinking in my mind, right? Eddie was 7'14"
yes.
at 14.
Humongous.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
So Eddie had that trajectory forever. So I'm just extrapolating out or peeling back the layers or whatever you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. And just because we all know how that premier athlete, when we know you got it,
yeah.
And whenever it's recognized that you got it,
we know what comes with that.
Life changes from that moment.
Yep.
Right? So you could be 6.
And he never wanted it.
That's fine. But you could be 6 and life starts getting different for you. Right? When Bronny was trying to play basketball, I know a multitude of children from Chicago, and I'm not even BSing. I'm talking about 9, 10 years old that they were shipping out to Akron, Ohio, giving them cribs. Parents had Benzes just to play AAU ball next to Bronny, right? And them people thought that was going to be their life.
That was going to be the ticket.
Right? And they was just using them to get a spotlight to Bronny. You know what I mean? Right. So when that light dimmers, it's like, go back to your life.
Right.
But we don't have that freedom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have that freedom to uproot to come be your sidekick. But either way, I'm just thinking about it in context, though, right? On one hand, most people look at that as a privilege and a goal to aspire to.
Yeah.
Right? But then if you juxtapose that to the kid on the opposite end of that spectrum, who don't got nothing happening, and there's so much more weight on this side of the spectrum. But the feeling is the exact same. So D-Wade can't go out no more because of the pressure everybody seeing me. But little dude over here can't go out no more because of the pressure everybody seeing me too. I'm embarrassed that I've not amounted to. I'm embarrassed that I don't have. I'm embarrassed that I can't do. And this is 90% of the population, specifically when you think about black households. You know what I mean? So I can have empathy for the Eddies and the D-Wades, but we don't show these kids no empathy.
Yeah, but I only mention them in context to Kyren Lacy because he was a premier athlete. And I'm talking about dealing with those pressures and how everybody just don't deal with them well. I would literally see Eddie go from the most fun-loving, happy person to we outside or we walk in the gym and it's all eyes on him. He like, what is this? I don't like it.
I only did the juxtaposition, though, because they're signs of the same sickness. When the kid is 6 and starts showing promise at some level of athleticism, it's 4-1 you. You're my future.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If this kid doesn't show any promise, discard him because there's no value.
Truth.
All signs are the same sickness.
It's fake love.
Where's your value in context of what I can get about you?
But it's fake love and it's fuck you.
There's
no real love anyway.
In context of what I can get about you.
Yes, of course. That's what I'm saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And both ends breed the same kind of resentment.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
It does.
Now he, on this side of the spectrum, whether it's true or not, he can kind of filter through with all the capital.
Sure.
Right? You don't look at nobody's happiness when they rich. You just assume everything's good.
Assume they're happy.
Right? But he can't hide. And that's why that trajectory goes up. Right? The Lacy brother, I don't know the situation. But we talking about him.
Yeah.
Right? The multitude of numbers that made that scale go up is mostly over here. We don't know none of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just something to think about, man. I don't know.
It's unfortunate, man. Rest in peace to the kid, Kyren Lacy. Rest in peace to the person that died in the car accident as well. It's all unfortunate. I think we need better sources of how to deal with the things that come up in life.
We got to stop being fish and we got to get out the water. That's the only answer, bro. All this mental health conversation, all this capital conversation, there's no semblance of health to fully assimilate within an insane society. This society is insane and it's showing us every day. And we keep trying to acquiesce to the insanity instead of to fix the society.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you think about like a family. What Kyren Lacy must have been to his family, or just understanding how things work. In a place where I really just want to be one of the cousins. I'm not here to be, but I pull up to the family function, and y'all acting like fans too, damn near. And it's like, hey, cool out. Where can I just get natural, regular love from?
While we having this conversation, I just had a thought about my nephew. Mm-hmm. My nephew's in like 10 movies, like 10 big blockbuster movies. And I always started from the standpoint of, man, what's the pressure on my nephew? Mm-hmm. But just having this conversation made me think, what's the pressure on the rest of the kids that ain't doing what my nephew doing? How do they view that? How do they view their place in the context of the family?
Yeah.
Right? When Stink have a game, we might get a few people there.
Yeah, and it throws everybody
off. When Pop movie come out, all us there.
And it throws everybody off.
It's just real interesting to think about.
On both ends.
Yeah, it's real interesting to think about.
It's unfortunate, man. I've dealt with suicide in my life. I had my little cousin kill himself, take his life at my granny house. And the same thing 2 generations above him with his own grandfather. So it's I don't know, man. Different pressures weigh on people differently, and they find different solutions for it. But again, rest in peace to Kyren Lacy. It's a sad thing. We got to figure it out, man. To everybody involved. You alluded to, or maybe we alluded to it in the conversation somehow, whatever. But Dwayde has come out and said that he's been battling cancer for the past 3 years. That was news to me. When you told me before the show, I had no idea. On the one hand,
and I don't know if it's confirmed. I saw it. I ain't reading deep. It says it's been 3 years. He had to have something like part of his spleen removed because of the tumor.
That's wild, man. And it would be a wild rumor to make up. You know what I mean? But I didn't know that. I haven't had a close relationship with Dwayde in some time. But on the one hand, there is a sense of privacy, people just not wanting to. We kind of saw
Chadwick
Boseman. Thank you very much. I was going to be very disrespectful. The star character from
Black Panther,
come out late, and telling people that he had cancer before he passed away, and people were like, damn, he had been dealing with it that long, kind of in secrecy. And part of it is just about privacy, and then part of it leans into what you've been talking about with just how do people deal with pain? How do black men specifically deal with pain on different fronts? And that's whether you got the #1 movie in the world in Black Panther, or you don't get no attention at all, just how you deal with pain. And so, Dwayde going through that is interesting. It's interesting, especially when you kind of look at what, and thanks, E, for looking that up and confirming that. since 2023.
It says Dwayne Wade was diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2023 and had surgery to remove a cancerous tumor from his right kidney. He underwent a full-body scan after experiencing symptoms including slow urine stream and some stomach pain. The tumor was found to be cancerous, and surgery was necessary to remove it, along with 40% of his kidney. Wade emphasizes the importance of proactive health checkups, especially for men, and encourages others to consult a doctor if they notice any changes in their body.
Yeah, man, it's a serious thing, man, and you never know. Especially you don't think of it about world-class athletes and all that. But shout out to Brother Sadiq. He talks to us about all the time. Like, it ain't about this necessarily outer physical shape, but this internal shape and what we ingesting and what we enduring. And we know specifically with athletes, towards the latter ends of their careers, they put anything in their body to get back on the court, back on the field, to last just a little bit longer. D-Wade didn't have a fucking meniscus since he was in college. He was bone on bone in college on his knee.
Yeah, and again, the perspective I came with is a different kind of perspective. It was one around the ability to be vulnerable, or not even vulnerable, maybe even transparent with your emotions and your feelings as black men. And I even felt the same way about the LSU football player, like what story or what was he engaging in or what was he dealing with that would make him take his life, i.e. back to the data. You know what I mean? And the thing about D-Wade and even the little brother from LSU or even my little nephew Pop, or what happens when you got to take the cape off, right? And those are high-level, notable figures. But every black man I know walks around the world with a cape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what happens when you got to take the cape off, and are you capable of taking the cape off? And when you take the cape off, do you have somewhere soft to land? Right? And I didn't know the story with the little brother from LSU, but in my interpretation, the gun wound was somewhere soft to land for him. In my interpretation, the reason those statistics go up high is because that's somewhere soft to land from them.
That always seems like a better option than facing tomorrow.
Taking the cape off is scarier than not being here. And that's not, I'm dealing with some stuff personally, just I've been reading this book, man, it's making me question a lot of perspectives I have and how I engage, but for me, they quantify what it means to be me. It's just real interesting to think about it, you know what I mean? Very, very interesting to think about it.
For me, and I don't know, this just might be my stubbornness or whatever the fuck, but in the moments where I felt most vulnerable or most down or susceptible to whatever, it seemed like the moment for me to like just stand up and like I'd rather fake it than anything. And I remember going through some shit specifically like 10, 12 years ago, and my mama wanted to like shield me from it and like ice, and it was like, fuck no. Like I have to be out front and face this shit head on, and just deal with whatever it is, because to go into that dark space, I might not come out. You know what I mean? Like I'm terrified to go into that dark space because I might not come out of it. And so I'll just walk in the sun in complete pain and agony because I'm scared of the fucking dark. And then I guess at some point, maybe even for me, if it went far enough, at some point it gets to a point where it's like, I prefer the darkness, and if I just don't come out, I just don't come out. I don't want to face another day of this shit.
I think pain is the impetus to growth, right? But I think how we deal with pain, specifically as men, what you're allowed to deal with is interesting, right? And I know, I've been getting these kind of monikers on me, like I don't like this, and I don't give women the space to be or whatever. I disagree, but I think the entirety of the standardization of what it means to be a man doesn't allow space for that. And there's not even a dark or light space. It's just how. It's just how, right? We ain't superheroes. Everybody falters. You know what I mean? Funny, man, I was in this therapy conversation, and the therapist asked me, like, give me a moment that kind of defines you or your understanding of manhood, black manhood specifically. And my response was, this is true shit. I might have been 5 or 6 years old, and the heat got cut off in the crib, and this one of them brutal winters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We have those in Chicago.
It's Chicago, right? It's one of them brutal winters, right?
Yeah.
So the heat get cut off in the crib, and my man sends me, my mom, my sister go stay with our grandparents or whatever. And he stayed in that house for like 2 months by himself.
In the cold.
Living. You know what I'm saying? Working and getting the heat back on. And my mama was shitting on him every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, but for me, it was like admirable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, man, I fuck with you staying here like a man should do.
I'm gonna go through it.
And getting this shit back on.
I'm gonna go through it.
But I'm 5 or 6 years old, and I'm done at 50 today, and it never left me.
Right.
She was like, how did it make you feel? I don't know how it made me feel, but the moment in the story means something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So it's just interesting to me.
How you go through shit matters, man. How you approach those times says a lot about you. And how you approach the good times, I don't know, maybe that says a lot about you too, but when you talk about those dark times, that says a lot about you.
I guess the juxtaposition though, or the question though is, nigga, you could have went to grandma's house too.
I know.
Your ass ain't had you could have froze to death in that dumbass house. And then what? Then I got no daddy because you was being, because you wouldn't take the fucking cape off.
It's like I was just saying about the shit I dealt with over a decade ago. Like I could hide from, I could seek safer pastures. Mm-hmm. But fuck that.
Yeah, and that's
I'm gonna go right through it. I'm the same way. I'm gonna go right through it.
That shit happened at 5 or 6, and that shit informed my whole perspective. Like, all right, that's what it is.
It just is what it is. I'm gonna go right through it, and either we'll make it to the other side or we won't. But I'm going right through it. Mm-hmm.
It's wild, man.
That's just what it is, man.
You want to get to dirtbag grandma?
Dirtbag grandma is wild way to it's a wild way to.
You putting that cape on that young man now. Go die.
What my brother is referring to is
she's a dirtbag.
Is a case in which a video was released. The video came from inside a police interrogation room, a homicide unit specifically interrogation room. I'm making that up. I don't even know if he killed somebody.
Wait, we don't know.
I'm really making that up.
I'm going to jail.
That's a little cap. He was going to the joint.
He got 35 years.
He murked somebody.
Or somebody that he was with.
Yeah.
He could have been in Texas and stole gum. They give a lot of time for different stuff.
No, he just stole gum. No, we're not gonna put that on Granny.
Hey.
We're not gonna put that on Granny.
Grandma's a dirtbag.
You know what? I'm gonna put.
Okay, baby.
I'm gonna put my name on
home.
it. I'm gonna put my name on it. Shorty was involved in the murder. Fuck it. I don't know what his charge was. Shorty was involved in the murder.
Did grandma failed early?
Okay, whatever. First of all, she's his grandmother. Can we start there?
The unit is the unit. We're all together.
Can we start there? She's his grandma.
The unit is the
unit. She's not his
my grandmother has as much influence on my life as everybody else. And that's just it. The unit is the unit.
Whatever.
Let's listen. Just tell me back grandma's story.
This is how it went down. They in the interrogation room. The detectives have already figured out Shorty did whatever the fuck they think he did. He on his way up the river, it's over with. They give him a few minutes to speak to his grandma. His grandma's in there, and she's like, baby, stand up, give me a hug.
And then she said, get off me.
She did not.
No, she did.
No,
go run the tape back.
Later. But you lying. Like, don't.
She said, get off me after she hit the nigga with the friend zone pat hug.
It was later.
She hit him with the pat hug.
She said,
friend zone pat hug.
In a perfect granny.
Sideways friend zone pat hug.
You're lying.
I don't love you like that. Go down jail.
She said in the perfect granny voice, you can turn me loose now.
You can turn me loose now. Sideways friend zone pat hug. Go die, nigga. What kind of grandmother are you?
Listen.
Nigga, my grandmama would attach herself to my leg. We all go to jail today.
I'm willing to have a conversation with you, but stop lying on the granny. Okay?
That's my baby. I mean, I never had nobody. He ain't did nothing. My grandma would be there.
That little nigga was a terror.
Look at the hater.
He was a terror.
He was not. You don't know his truth.
He was a terror.
He might have had Rod Zimmerman or somebody on the case.
What the granny was actually saying to the brother, and this is important if two can get past the bullshit. What she was
you can tell a lot in the hug shit. I'm just saying.
Shut up. What she was actually saying to the young man was, baby, we've been telling you this over and over and over.
That's what she was saying.
She literally said that. You don't listen to nobody. Your parents been telling you. I've been telling you. You don't listen. We couldn't do nothing with you. You were convinced and stuck to doing what you wanted to do.
I'm gonna let you rock.
And, okay, let me finish. Then we can have the conversation. But at least be honest about the fucking video.
I'll let you rock. Go.
Okay.
Okay.
You would not listen. We told you where this would lead, and now here we are. And now there's nothing else I can do for you.
Unhand me.
I'm not a judge.
Unhand me now.
I'm not the jury. There's nothing left that I can do for you. I've tried. I've talked to you.
She that nigga with the Mojo Brooks. Unhand me now. Hey, it's not funny, but I look, I appreciate your perspective.
No, it's not. I haven't even given a perspective.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to say what happened in the video.
Okay, what's your perspective of what happened in the video?
I haven't given a perspective.
I want to hear it, though.
I haven't gotten there yet because you are acting ignorant.
You're long-winded. I'm trying to get to the point.
No, you're ignorant. That's why you think I'm long-winded. You thirsty to jump on the old lady when I'm trying to say what she was telling the boy.
I'm listening.
But anyway, she basically, nigga, we've been trying to tell your ass this for a long time. You wouldn't listen. Now you done got yourself caught up. I told you about who to hang around, who not to hang around. You chose what you chose. Now they sending your ass up the river for as long as they possibly can, and now you got to deal with that. There's nothing left I can do. Unhand me now.
Unhand me now. That was the whole communication, right? We know how communication works. 50%, at least 50, maybe more, is nonverbal.
80% of communication.
Right? If your grandmama ever gives you a hug and says, unhand me now, she was an ain't shit grandma since birth.
It was like a 3-minute hug, my nigga.
Look at this Negro here. This is not the truth.
No, that grandma had to be pissed. It was a very heartfelt conversation that she had with that young man.
I didn't feel like that.
She talked about
She felt failure.
She talked about him being in sports, and we tried to keep you in sports and things like that. And she talked about everything that they tried to do to prevent him and how he had no reason to be in that position. And I'm witness to other people who have kids who have been in this exact same situation, had no reason at all to even be involved in the streets, none at all, silver spoon in their mouth, and they still for some reason or another turn to violence, murder, whatever the case may be. What that comes from, we can speculate obviously, but in that particular video, she was having a very heartfelt conversation with him, and the thing is, he was bawling, crying.
Yeah.
But they never bawl and cry in the moment because you don't realize, what is happening, that they don't realize that this is going to be the result of you being involved in this sort of...
When he was disrespecting that lady's house, coming in and out at all types of hours, stashing pistols in her motherfucking basement, he wasn't bawling, crying then.
Y'all putting a lot on that young man's jacket, man.
I could hear it in her tone, in her voice, and what she said, dog.
And I heard some shit that unhand me now.
That's all you heard.
What makes your perspective more valid than mine?
Because she went through everything. We talked to you, your parents talked to you, we put you in the extracurriculars, we kept you away from that. She said, the only reason you ever even had to go to neighborhoods was when we put you in football.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So time out, y'all. We just agreed. 50, we're going to say 50% of communication is nonverbal?
I think it's 80%.
80%, oh shit, did she really lose it?
And I'm great at communicating.
Great, wonderful, amazing, right? And all of us, like E said, I've had these experiences with these kids who didn't have no reason to be involved in the streets, didn't have no reason to do this, didn't have no reason to do that. Again, I think most of those constructs, ideas are based on very tangible assets. They don't have no reason to be in the streets because they have a 2-parent household. They don't have no reason to be in the streets because they're not hungry. They don't have no reason to be in the streets because. Mm-hmm. Right? Just like the conversation about the young man from LSU and the other young men who don't nobody fucking know their names. Right? A lot of these young men over here with nobody know their fucking names, 2-parent households, own bedrooms, went to play sport, all that shit. Still something is missing. Right? And we can't quantify what that is. But I'm going to tell you this.
They seek outside validation is what I think.
Quite possibly. But it could be a multitude of things. But what I do know in this life, the greatest elixir to failure is love. The greatest elixir, right? And with all of them people that's looking for, even if it's outside validation, they're still looking to be loved.
I saw a lot of love from that grandma in that video.
She
could have answered her phone and said, what? Little such and such down there for a what case? I told her black ass and hung up.
She could have hung up, true. And I might have had more respect for that. than I would have had for the side nigga, friend zone pet hug, and the unhand me now.
It was like a 3-minute hug, dog.
It was because he was scared. She had been let go. She's like, all right, nigga.
Right, she's trying to console him. But at the end of the day, all this holding on, you ain't gave me a hug in 15 years, nigga.
Listen, either way, she might not have gave a nigga a hug in 15 years too. That might be part of it. That might be part of it. But we're making a conversation about the grandma, so we're gonna have to engage that. We can't quantify what the mama.
You making the conversation about the grandma?
No, the grandma was on the fucking video.
He was on the video. I'm making the conversation about him, about not listening, about you've been a fucking terrorist in these streets for however many years.
Again.
And now, only now, when these white men then told you your ass is going up the river for 40 years, now you like, Granny, give me a hug.
Again, perspective based. Maybe him being in the streets was a cry for help too. And again, I'm not justifying none of it. I don't know the full story. We wouldn't even know if it's murder. I mean, you know what I mean? We talking shit.
Murder.
Whatever. But my point is this. From my version of the 80% of nonverbal communication, when she hit Shorty with the Mojo Brooks, I said, something ain't right. Something ain't right. She raised that nigga on ramen noodles. Something ain't right.
Hey, Mojo, right. You gotta come on the show now, because clearly you have a fucking...
Something ain't right.
Like he mossed him.
We definitely need Mojo. Unhand me now. Go to jail.
It's unfortunate, man. I hope Shorty finds whatever he needs in the next 40 years and comes out as a nice 50-year-old, 55, 60-year-old young man ready to do something with the last however many years of his life, man.
Where was he at? You know where he was at?
I don't know the city or state.
Yeah, either way.
If he found it, he just holler it out.
Yeah.
But
they slammed him, though, whatever it was.
Florida? Oh, they sent him up the river to Florida.
That's about bad Texas. He might really didn't murder nobody. You never know.
No, they sent his ass up the river, G.
They got white people still in the fields with whips.
They do. Nigga, who taught you octagon?
Who taught you octagon? How you know it's 35? You can count. Told you how to count.
Hey, man, best of luck to dude. Best of luck to Dwayde. And rest in peace to Kyren Lacy. Let's move on.
I'm with it.
Hey, did you see Oprah let Gale go to space?
She had to get permission.
She had to ask
from her grandmama.
Grandma, that's her girlfriend.
Oprah hit her with the side piece hug and said, "Unhand me now, go to space, bitch."
That's her girlfriend.
And what do we think about that, G? Like, what? I'm all for exploration. I think shit like that.
Niggas went up there for 10 minutes. I don't know how long they was there. I have no idea.
I wouldn't go to space.
Gee, I'm not getting in no damn rocket.
But I didn't talk about just in general. I'm talking about motherfucking helicopters falling out of the sky today. Space is a little far-fetched. Keep that shit to yourself.
Gee, I'm not getting in no rocket. Is you crazy? Gale came down and kissed the dirt. She said, I'm so glad, I'm so thankful to be on the ground again. Bent down and kissed the dirt.
I bet.
I'm not going I'm getting in a rocket.
Man, I was having a conversation today.
Man, whatever y'all say space look like, that's what it look like, nigga. I'm not going up there. Is you crazy?
I was having a conversation today, and I was like, you know, we here in America as black people, we don't never really say we American.
Yeah.
Right? We hard pressed to say we from XYZ state.
Right.
It's our neighborhood, it's our city.
I'm from Chicago,
Southside, over east, you know what I mean? All that matters. But I was like, take your ass to a country where you are the minority.
Oh, I'm American.
You American. You become American immediately.
I'm from the United States.
Oh, I'm American like a motherfucker.
I'm from the United States.
I'm from the United States.
We kill shit.
Hey, I'm from America, right? Take your ass and go up in space. You come back kissing this dirt like a motherfucker. I'm from Earth. I'm from Earth. I like Earth.
I'm an earthling.
I'm from Earth, goddammit.
Nah,
yeah, that's the wild shit, though. It's wild when you think about technology, and it's funny, man. Me and Boog be having this argument because Boog don't believe motherfuckers landed on the moon and all. He's like, man, that's fake. That was all CGI. They made that with a commercial television camera. But to imagine like how far technology is transpired, right? Yeah. Where like randos can go to space. Like you could be a McDonald's cashier and go to space. That's some amazing shit. You know what I mean?
It is some amazing shit. I just want to touch on that anecdotally. Louis Vuitton got a $3,900 fan.
Salute to Louis Vuitton.
Are you hip to the new line dance that came out of like Texas?
No.
I can't think of the words right now. But it's a craze. It's all over the place.
Because niggas love it, and that's why.
I guess. Yes. But anyway, part of the line dance has a like fan popping part. and they be popping these fans. You know the paper fans you pop and shit? Mm-hmm. Those. They got those, and and the craze is going all over the place. And I think with Pharrell being creative director, designer, whatever the fuck he is, for Louis V, I think he was like, we got a moment. We can take advantage. And Louis V, as quickly as they could, went to China. Well, they went to Africa, got the leather, shipped to China, got it put together, and made fans that they now sell for $3,900, and people can't wait to get their Louis pop on them.
Did y'all see the other video?
It's a fan purse, by the way.
It's a purse.
Did y'all see the other video of the lady who got, I guess, credit to get a Hermes purse and break down crying?
She fell out like she got a new crib.
Yeah.
I've been approved for
a loan to get a Hermes purse. But then because it's tariff conversation, and again, maybe it's me, right? I guess I don't be realizing how stupid people really are.
Yeah.
Right? That are you as smart as a fifth grader shit is so prevalent in my life. Right? And I'm only referencing black people because that's kind of the only people I pay attention to. Mm-hmm. Right? But there's been droves of black people that have come out lately like, I didn't know China made
everything.
And they were amazed.
Have you never seen a tag?
And they were amazed that these kind of high-end designer purses and leather goods and all that only get the logo put on it in Italy.
You ever seen the name of your television? You think that was a name? You think that's an American name?
But my point is, they're online like, man, you can go get, name them, Hermes, Balenciaga, a such and such purse for $1,900. They really 40 for that. No, shorty, they're not.
Yeah.
The bootleg and the real one is made on the same factory line.
Oh, I saw a dude who broke it down to the penny.
What's my man's name? The dude with the fake Air Force Ones. What's the name of them?
I ain't hear.
Ingo Bapes, the Bape shoes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He bootlegged his own product. He admits it. This is what he said. He explained to the reporter as he was talking. They said, well, how'd you bootleg your own product? He said, well, from 9 to 5, regular working hours, those were the real ones. Mm-hmm. And then from 5 to 9, I just paid the employees less.
But keep making them.
What the fuck is we? Do we didn't know that?
It was a dude. He was talking about what's the big expensive Birkin bags, right? Either one of the most expensive ones. Yeah. He's talking about the Birkin bag specifically. He said this bag is $40,000, and then he went through why or how much it costs to make the bag. He went from the leather to the zipper to the
I saw that. I think he came out with
the ornaments that's on them,
something like that.
No, it was a decent number. It was like $2,000. It was some grand. It was like $5 or $6 grand, some shit like that. And he was like, "This is what it costs to make the bag. The leather is the finest quality. The zippers, all this shit is the finest quality. This is what it costs to make that." And then he said, "The reason it's 40 grand." It's merely because of the logo.
Yeah. That's it.
He said, now what we do, he said, we don't use the logo. It ain't our logo, we don't use it. He said, but we still use the finest quality, but we'll sell you the same bag for 6 bands or whatever the fuck. Because it costs us 4. You know what I mean?
So I saw that exact video. Mm-hmm. And I was discussing even by him.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I used to make clothes, and I used to deal with leather makers.
Sure.
And I used to be in the leather factories. Mm-hmm. Right? And you understand how they kill cows and get leather.
Sure.
Right? And you've realized what you could do with a slab of leather. Mm-hmm. That purse costs $30 to make. I don't care what zipper you use. It had to be platinum, titanium, and gold combined. That purse costs, at best, $100, and that's with labor. At best.
Okay.
Just because when you get in the field and you understand it, and you get it, again, where did you get the leather from? Africa? So let's deduct 89,000% off the price of everything, right? Then you go to China to get it put together, deduct another 96,000% off of everything. You might have made that purse for $26.99.
And sold it for 40 bands?
That might have been high.
And sold it for 40 bands?
Easy. Gee, you think a baby, how big is a cow, bro?
That's fuck.
right? So think about a baby calf, the softest leather.
Sure.
The butter leather shit.
Sure.
That's still a big motherfucker. How many baby calves you think it take to make one purse?
Yeah,
That's just a very simple.
I don't want to debate because I never debate with things I don't know about. But
when you see the baby calf, you animal planet ass nigga. How many of them you think it take to make a purse?
I can look and feel something and tell the difference in the quality of it.
Under the Animal Planet Act, because they all lie. I'm just amazed that niggas didn't know this. Oh, it bothered me so much. I wanted to stop the internet today. Like, are you kidding me, you stupid motherfucker? This is why we can't win.
Stop the internet is
if you don't know this shit, we ain't got no chance of you understanding politics.
Okay.
Right? This shit is bad. Right? But under the Animal Planet Act, I've been waiting to see your ass for this one.
Okay.
Did you see them fucking hyenas attack that fucking lion?
Yes.
That was the most gangster shit I ever seen.
No, what's insane is I was having this conversation last night at the bar. And I was telling niggas.
At the bar.
Yeah.
This nigga bring Animal Planet to the bar.
I'm multifaceted. I'm a lot of shit.
First 10. But wait, did you see the hyenas?
And niggas is at the bar telling me, because they just on their bar shit.
Right.
Can't no hyenas fuck with what I said. Want to bet, nigga?
Fuck that lion.
You get enough hyenas if they catch a lion dolo.
But it has to be strategic though.
Yes, they
I said, oh, this is a herb conversation right here.
I love that shit, G.
I
sat at the bar and showed them niggas videos for like 30 minutes.
That shit was crazy. So look, let me explain.
I showed them the lions take down the elephant. I showed them all.
The lion is hunting a pack of, no, not hyenas. This wasn't the hyenas. This was the fucking monkeys, the baboons. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, nigga, it's so gangster.
Okay.
So this lion is hunting. It's a pack of baboons.
Okay.
And they see this motherfucking lion. Yeah. They still chilling. They walking, but they walking slow. Like, all right, motherfucker, fuck whatever you want to, right? But it's like 30 of these motherfuckers,
yeah,
right?
They feel
okay. The lion is on some, my nuts this big, I'm a lion, I'll fuck you up, right? So he get his lion walk, creep up on these motherfuckers and shit, right? And then he gets to his attack shit, and he go. And they go. They kill him. They running.
Yeah.
But he don't see this sneaky baboon to the right. And he grabs one of the motherfucking baboons. He's gonna eat this motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's getting.
It's a wrap for him.
He's dead. He sacrificed himself. He's dead, this motherfucker. But this big ass baboon, and it was all strategic. They slowed the video down, and you see as they walking, and the lion start doing this shit, the big baboon sneak off.
This ain't his first rodeo.
You turned his punk ass, and as soon as he grabbed the little sacrificial baboon, the big baboon jumped on him and did the monkey dance on his face. And about 40 other monkeys turned around and did the monkey dance on this motherfucker. Monkey dance. He still killed the motherfucker. That motherfucker dead, though. He either dead or got a severe lip, because he bit the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? He bit the shit out of him. The rest of them got away. I just was like, damn, that was so gangster that they recognized the whole shit. Like, all right, it was like dirty folks in the bus stop within the 80s. It was crazy.
Hey, it be like that sometimes, man. That's why they call it. I thought you seen that one. That's why they call it the wild. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna go look for it though. You know I love all that shit.
They monkey stumped that motherfucking line, boy.
Wallo.
Oh, I forgot. We should have got to this one before we got to the baboons. We should be talking about all the asses.
Nigga, you brought up fucking baboons. I didn't know shit about the baboons.
Let's hurry up. We're going to hurry up and run through this. I don't think it's all that deep. We should go. Because this is going to be dead news by next week.
You can go.
Wallo comes out and says, I don't support black businesses because they black. I have a problem with that. Period, point blank. And why I have a problem with that is, one, Wallo,
just because they're black.
Just because they're black.
Essentially, he's saying, the quality matters, the service matters.
Sure,
yada, yada, yada.
Sure. And I understand it, and there's a bunch of people that was agreeing with him, right? And I struggle with that specifically coming out of Wallo's mouth. Yeah. Right? You are X amount of time to loser, you're a felon, and you get a second chance at life.
You did 20 years in prison.
And not only do you get a second chance at life, but you come home to a pseudo-celebrity family who gives you instant access to a world that most people can't never touch.
Sure.
Right? Imagine you trying to do that without any access points.
Right.
That's what being in black business is about.
Right.
You can't go to a goddamn bank and get a loan. It's a very difficult thing to do. I've seen people with 800 credit scores can't get loans for $100,000, which is a low-level loan.
Right. You don't have a famous rapper cousin.
You don't have a famous rapper cousin who's going to hook you up with a bunch of other famous rapper people.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have instant access to the world in which you want to employ. Right. We just coming up out of civil rights, man. We still got people saying your black ass can't drink water from this water fountain on this planet.
Right.
You think we got the same access point, and that's the delusion that celebrity gives you. So I want to say this: it's not a knock to Wallo as a person, because I like Wallo as a person. I even like Wallo's brand, and I think you're a great speaker in regards to giving empathy to that specific class of people, right? And you are an extreme motivation to that specific class of people. But shut the fuck up about shit you don't know about. That's our problem. We think because you got a microphone, you're supposed to have input on every topic. No, nigga. You're not. And you're not informed about it, and you're not studied about it, and you're influencing another bunch of people like you to have the same thoughts. Because they think you are informed enough to have it, and they ain't.
So I want to say this. He was speaking at like a symposium, apparently to black business owners, about never mind people supposed to support you because you're black, have the good quality. I don't necessarily not fuck with that. My problem is this. Black people are terrible at keeping, for all the shit we grew up with and here in our own houses, the same rule every fucking black kid grew up in, don't you tell nobody about no business going on in this fucking house. As a collective, we are terrible about keeping black business in-house. Nigga, if you want to talk to black business owners and say, hey, we got to step up our quality, man. We got to be on our business. We got to be on time. We got to have good service. We got to have good this, good that. I agree with all that shit. But to think that this is a fucking world conversation, and you think you should come out here and speak down on black businesses in any fucking way, and you talk about all the millions you got, and I'm about my Lamborghinis, and I'm about it, do whatever the fuck you want to do, right? And coach black people how you think they need to be coached. I don't have no problem with tough love, but that still needs to happen in-house. And now you all outside the crib talking fucking crazy when we just trying to get some footing that your ass had by privilege. You did 20 years, you came out, you made a success of yourself on some levels, but you had a lot of help and convenience in that. Wallo, none but love and respect for what you and cuz built. Keep black business in the fucking crib, my nigga. Like, the way you did that, not cool.
And just real quick, man, and we're gonna roll out here, I know, right? But how many times you been to McDonald's and the fries been cold?
Yeah. Or Starbucks and they fucked your order.
And you still go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Miss me, bro. And I want to add this too. Black businesses are so rare. They're so rare. The vast majority of us has never stepped foot in one. You might have stepped in black-facing business where it's black employees. You rarely stepped in the black business. It's a rarity, right? So miss me, bro.
Got to do better. Got to do better. Got to be better. Right now, we just got to go. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to this episode of Herb and Two. As always, y'all appreciate it. Please make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the page and share it with at least one person that you think would add value to it or find value in it. Huge shout out to P.I. He does all of the work behind the camera. Huge shout out to E4O. She is the producer / manager / momager, and she's E4O. That's two. I'm Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.